long journey now. How many videos do I think I will have in all of this? Maybe up to 200. I don't know. Let's see how it goes. But this particular is part of the AS course, as it were, and this is financial decision making. And I've started with this particular one, which is return on capital employed. Right? There's a reason behind it. It is the most important ratio, and it's also called the primary efficiency ratio, because this one ratio, if you look at a business, you can see how well that business is doing. Okay, so there are three ways of looking at the equation, and this causes slight complication within students, but you just got to get into the hang of it. Now, return on capital employed is net profit divided by is net profit. Sometimes it's also called operating profit divided by capital invested times 100. So what that means is you get your profit figure, which I will show you later on in maybe YouTube number 5 or 6, something like that. I'll show you how you get your profit, and then it depends how much has been invested in that particular business. So say, for example, I invest £100,000 into a business and it gets me £10,000 profit a year, then my return on capital employed happens to be 10%. But it can also be called businesses, or larger businesses can also get their money from long-term loans and shareholder funds. Fine. So in that case, it's going to be net profit or operating profit divided by long-term loans plus shareholder funds times 100. You can also get it, so it's often called this, when you start looking at people's balance sheets, non-current liabilities plus total equity. Now, non-current liabilities also means long-term loans, and total equity also means shareholder funds. So they are really, all these three, well, they are exactly the same equation. And the students will always say, well, what's a good return on capital employed? Okay, if it's 3%, the firm is not making a lot of profit from the money invested into that business. So you can look at the world's biggest company and you can say, well, that's getting a return on capital employed of 3%, and you will start asking questions of that particular business. If it's a minus figure, clearly it's negative, then they'll be losing money. So last year, Tesco's lost £6.4 billion, so they would have had a negative return on capital employed. Right, I would say if you have a ROCE of 10%, that's pretty good. Anything above that and the firm is doing really well. It is possible for businesses to have a very, very high return on capital employed, say 50% or even 100%. Obviously, the higher the figure, the better it is. And finally, if you put your money in a bank, right now you're probably going to get about a 2% return. You might get more, you might get less. So obviously, put your money in a bank, that is completely safe unless the banks go bust, which may have happened. Okay, so this is the number one thing, return on capital employed. It's called the primary efficiency ratio. You must fully comprehend this concept. It's essential to business studies. The last thing to say about it, though, is just because a firm has a good return on capital employed, and as I speak, e.g. Volkswagen's probably got a pretty good high return on capital employed. It's a really innovative company, but it's just had problems with its emission testing. So suddenly its brand would have taken a massive hit. So just because you've got a high return on capital employed, you have to look at everything else surrounding the firm. And another good example of that is also Amazon, that's been going now for a very long period of time, I don't know, 15, 20 odd years. They're still not making profits. So therefore their return on capital employed is still negative. But it's a great business, and it will be a great business, and investors still believe in it. So you can't just look at the figure and go, fantastic business. Okay? But it is a very significant factor.